About today how I turned $4,000 into $20,000 trading penny stocks. Now, this was a personal challenge I wanted to do, not only to show the world that you can turn a small account into a large account, but also I wanted to challenge myself. You see a lot of sketchiness in penny stocks. You see a lot of people say, I've made this much, I made this much, I made this much. I wanted to show through live streaming every single day, showing you guys my entries and exits that you can do this if you are willing to take the time and learn the correct strategy. So my main goal of this strategy, my main goal of this challenge was to open up a $4,000 cash account and turn it into $20,000. I wanted to live stream every single trade, and I want to walk traders through each trade. I wanted to be 100% transparent. Now that was very important to me because I know a lot of people who are especially new in trading, you have a lot of passion about trading. You want to become good. You want to become financially free through stock trading. To me, stock trading is the best job in the world. We have so much opportunity. We get to decide our hours. We basically determine our salary. Our salary is determined on how much you are willing to work. Now, with that being said, that is either a perk or that could be a disadvantage to some people, depending on your mindset. Me personally, I love to work hard and I like to earn, what I have. The best thing about stock trading, guys, you are your own boss. And if you're a person that needs a boss to kick you around and say, get this done, you've been slacking, you're probably not going to be very successful in stock trading. But if you have that mentality that says, I want to become good because I have a passion for this, because I personally want to do this, because I want to change my life and change my financial status, then you're going to succeed because you personally want it. You don't have someone saying, do this because I'm telling you to do this. You're doing this because you want to become better. And that's why what you like to do, if that's play guitar and you have a passion for playing guitar, you know what? You're going to be much better than kid who is forced to play guitar or learn how to play the piano. If some kid doesn't like playing sports, but his dad forced him to play sports, he's never going to reach his 100% potential because he doesn't want to be there. The best stock traders want to be here. Some people trade because they say to themselves, I have something to do, I'm retired, I just want to have some fun, throw some money around. They're never going to hit their 100% potential. But if you're saying to yourself, I want to have a financial change, I don't want to work the 9 to 5, I want to be someone, I want to make sure that I determine my own salary and I'm my own boss, you have that mindset, you can definitely do this. So what was my trading strategy when I was talking about growing my small account? Growing a small account, you are going to have different trading than if you are on a larger account. On a larger account, it is easier to grow. I have 25,000 bucks, let's say, I'm able to buy more shares. I have more different opportunities. I'm able to go after stocks that are all in different price ranges. So let's go over these different points. For my trading strategy on my small account, what was I looking at? I was looking at trading stocks that I can afford. Now, what does that mean? When I'm trading with only $4,000, I'm going to be limited on the size of stocks that I can trade. So if I have 4,000 bucks, I personally recommend that you guys should be looking for stocks that you could buy at least 1,000 shares for. 1,000 shares equals to $10 per penny. So if I buy a stock at $1 for 1,000 shares and it runs up to 20 cents, I make 200 bucks. That's very solid. But if I'm trying to buy a $12 stock and I only have 4,000 shares and I can only buy somewhere around 200 to 300 shares, that I'm not going to be able to make a lot of profit. I'm not going to see a lot of profitable returns out of that because I can only buy 200, 300 shares where I can only make $2 to $3 every time a penny moves. And to see, a dollar rip, that's not as common. So you're going to need a huge rip, a huge climb just to see a decent profit. Or I could find stocks that are inside my price range that I can load up on some good shares. So every single penny that moves, I'm going to be able to get a nice return on it. The problem with a lot of people is a lot of beginners don't know how many shares to buy. And B, they are going outside their price range, saying, oh, I bought 50 shares. 50 shares equals to 50 cents on every single stock. That's not going to help you, or every single penny move. That's not going to help you at all when you guys are looking to contain consistent profit. You guys need to be buying stocks that you guys can afford, that you guys are not going to be eaten up by commissions, that is worth getting into the play to have a profitable outcome. That's definitely very important. So number 2, trade setups with 80% reward, 20% risk. This is something I teach at DekmarTrades.com. Get into the video library. We have lessons where we have 80% reward, 20% risk. This is where you guys can learn these exact setups where I like to look for. If I get in, I'm going to have a much larger return than a risk. Now, that's what we want. Obviously, if I'm playing a 50-50 stock, I'm not here to gamble. If I want to go play 50-50, I'll go down to a casino and go play roulette. That's not my style to gamble. I'm here to work. This is my job. I want to make sure that I am, let's say if you want to call this even to gamble, I'm the house then. Odds are in my favor. And how do I do that? I'm patient. I'm disciplined. I'm trading stocks with 80% reward, 20% risk. With this Next up, stick to my trading plan. This is crucial. This is how you eliminate fear. People get scared to trade. Why? Because you guys are investing hard-earned money. You guys are putting yourself into a stock and you're saying, here's $2,000. I just worked the whole entire summer for this. I just want to see a return. And with that attitude, that's how a lot of people lose, being so scared that they're saying, oh my gosh, I just put so much money into this play. I really don't know what's going to be going on. Oh, I'm scared. Okay, I'm getting out right here, or I'm getting in right here on a stock that you maybe shouldn't be doing. Fear is eliminated when you guys stick to your trading plan. And what does that mean? Hey, you know what? I want to buy this stock at $2. I buy the stock at $2. I'm looking to sell it at $2.25. If the stock falls back down to $1.89, I'm getting out. So that eliminates fear. I have a trading plan. I did my research. I have an 80% reward, 20% risk. If it breaks $2, a lot of opportunity to go up. First 25 cents, I'll lock in something. If it doesn't go my way, I cut my losses quick and I get out. Takes me to my next point. Cut losses quick. If I cut my losses as quick as possible, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to see very little red. And those wins are going to come. Those wins are going to come and you're going to let them run. And big time runs and those big time profits, they're going to add up. And those little losses, they're not even going to affect you at all. But I know a lot of people hold the bag because a lot of people buy a stock. You have your first $4,000 account. You buy a stock, you buy 1,000 shares. You invested $4,000 into it. And it starts coming back on down. And you're down maybe $300. The stock's not going your way. And you say to yourself, I could cut out right here and move on to a different play. Or people end up holding the bag. These are called bag holders where the stock just keeps falling. Now you're down $600. And now you're like, wow, now I'm down $600. I should have cut out with 300. Maybe I'll come back up. Now you're down $1,200. You're like, well, now I'm down $1,200. I might as well just keep holding the stock. Now you're down $3,000. And on one trade, you just lost 60, 70% of your account. On one trade. This market is too active for you guys to lose that much money on one trade. Every single day, there's new opportunities. Every single day, you guys are going to wake up with brand new setups. If things are not going my way, I'm going to get out of it as quickly as I can, and I'm going to move on. Because why would I sit in a loser trade? Why would I sit there and just end up just getting smacked around and losing my money? That's not what I want. Every day there's new opportunities. The market is different every single day. I'm not going to sit in a losing trade. You know what? If it's a loss, I'm going to cut it quickly. I'm going to move on till I win. And that's what you guys have to understand. Never hold the bag. Last point, trade only one time a day. Trade only one time a day. As a beginner, what are you thinking? I'm going to trade this day, and I'm going to trade on this stock, and this stock, and this stock. And people end up trading 7 times a day, and 6 times a day, and 8 times a day. If you trade more than 2 to 3 times a day, guys, you're over trading. Now, over trading is something that happens a lot to beginner traders. Why? Because they see one stock ripping, and what do? They hop into it. They start seeing one stock ripping, and they say, oh, I got to get on that. That's going to be the best ripper. And all of a sudden, it starts losing a little bit. After it's now at the top, it starts falling, and people get out of it. And they say, oh, wow, that stock's ripping. I got to go get in there on it. And then it starts ripping, and then all of a sudden it starts falling. And they're like, okay, well, I didn't make too much money there. And then that stock starts ripping, and now they're starting to lose there because they keep buying at the top. Trade only one time a day. I only traded, I believe, a total around 24 times in this whole entire challenge to make $16,000, turn my account from $4,000 to $20,000. Now, how did I do that? That's through doing my research, finding stocks with 80% reward, 20% risk, sticking to my trading plan. I'm only buying a stock if I'm confident that stock's going to go up. I'm not just sitting here and looking and seeing what's going to move, and then right when I see something move, hop in on it. I'm doing my research. I'm getting prepared. I'm putting in the necessary work that I know that's going to lead to success. Put in the work and you guys will lead to success. Preparation will lead to success every single time. And that's how I was able to turn my small account into over $20,000. So let's talk about my weekly breakdowns, starting with the first week going to my last week of trading. Looking at my weekly breakdowns, first week, I have $4,000. What can I do? First week, 2 total trades, August 31st to September 8th. I started on August 31st, which was Thursday, September 8th going to Friday. So my first week, I made $264. Is that huge? No, that's not huge. But at the same time, I'm green. Now, that's a great psychological start for me. Seeing, okay, you know what? I just turned $4,000 into $4,264. That's a great psychological start to stay on the green side. Probably the most important thing is to have your first trade green. Because on your first trade being green, you start, again, a little bit of confidence. You may be a little worried, hell, wow, if I lose $4,000 and I go down to $370, that's going to definitely hurt me. If I go from 4,000 maybe to 3,500, geez, it's just like starting with a smaller account now. So kind of starting off on the first note, wait until you know you are going to be winning on the first couple trades. That is so crucial that you guys know that you guys are going to be winning. That could be waiting for the most easy setup in the world. That could be just locking in small profits when you have it. But just having any little cushion off that $4,000 mark, it's such a psychological boost. It's going to keep you guys going so quickly. So I had 2 total trades throughout this whole entire week, made $264. Now, as we move on through to the next week, September 11th to September 15th, I made a little bit more, $408. Now, why was I able to make a little bit more on this area? Well, now I'm able to make more because my account's growing. My account's slowly growing. And with my account slowly growing, I can get more diverse. And by diverse, I can say, okay, before I could only play stocks from $4 and below, maybe $3 and below to buy enough shares. Why? Because again, I need at least 1,000 shares, as I said. That was my personal strategy. But now, I'm up almost, $600-700. Maybe I could see a stock if maybe it's at $5. Maybe I could go after that $5 stock now. I couldn't touch $5 stocks before. Maybe I could touch that $5 stock now. Okay, I can buy maybe before only maybe around 1,500 shares on a $2 stock. Maybe I could buy 2,000 shares now. So I can continue to grow and diverse my account on larger price stocks. And on top of that, I could start buying more shares. So we move to the next week, week 3, September 18th to September 22nd. I made $756. 2 total trades. That's it. 2 total trades. Not 2 total trades in a day. 2 total trades in the week. That's because I'm preparing myself. On my off days, I'm doing a trade on Monday, research on Tuesday, trading on Wednesday. Or I'm doing my research on Monday, trading on Tuesday. Research on Wednesday, trading on Thursday. My off day is research. And then I'm going and trading on the day that my funds are settled because I'm on a cash account. Again, I'm not on a margin account, guys. I did a cash account challenge, which makes it very difficult because I don't have any extra leverage or buying power. I have to stick with the money I have within my account. So on the days that I can trade, I'm trading. On the days that I'm off, I'm doing my research. So when I can trade, I can make the most out of it. So I just went so far. First week, 264. Second week, 408. Third week, 756. So now I'm growing my account on a very consistent level. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. So on week 4, this is where I have my first pullback. In this total week, 2 total trades, I have $208 loss. Now, with this being said, what do I think of this? I think this is actually a very good thing. I just went 3 weeks of straight positive gains. Now I'm having 1 red week. This is my first red week in my small account challenge. What can I do with this red week? My red week to me tells me, hey, something obviously went wrong. Your biggest losses are going to be your best lessons, team. Everyone wants to talk about a win. Hey, I just made $756 this week. Oh, I just made $408. That's awesome. But you know what happens? Your losses, a lot of people like to just kind of just shrug those off, act like they never happened. When this is going to teach you, this is going to be the best lesson for you that says, what did I do wrong that I lost $208? I had to be chasing. I had to get in on something late. I could have hopped in on something that I shouldn't be hopping in on. What's this? This is not a failure. $208 is not a failure. $208 is a lesson to be learned. And that's the mindset you guys have to understand. What's also the best thing about this $208 loss? Well, if we look back at it, this loss is smaller than every single gain. So $208, that's my loss. If we go back right here, we have a total gain, $756. Total gain, $408. Total gain, $264. So this loss, out of the whole entire 3 weeks I was winning, this loss is smaller than every single gain throughout the week. So that is absolutely great. I'm cutting my losses quick. So I have to bounce back now. I have to say to myself, I just took a loss. How can I bounce back from this? How can I say to myself, okay, I want to be consistent. Let's learn what I did wrong. Did I chase? Did I get in late? Was I buying too many shares? Did I just buy a bad stock that wasn't 80% reward, 20% risk? Let's figure it out. So I took the time, learned my lesson, and then continued on with my trading. Next week, guys, week 5, 3 total trades this week, making $3,529. Way to get back on the horse. You don't let one loss affect you. Losing is going to happen in the stock market, guys. No one is going to win every single trade. People are going to take losses. But you know how you guys can limit those? Is by cutting them quick and not letting them get inside your head. How do you not let them get inside your head? You turn it into a lesson and you say, oh, that's what I did wrong. You know what happens? People always shrug them off and they say, okay, I'm not going to bother with that. And you didn't get anything from it. But once you learn, okay, that's what I did wrong. Simple. It's an easy mistake. That's fixable. You take a math test. Teacher comes over, like, hey, Sean, you didn't add this part. Okay, that's why I got that question wrong. It won't happen again. Okay, that's why I got that trade wrong. Okay, it won't happen again. But I learned from it. Next week, $3,529. Banging that out, growing my account, consistently making money. Next trade after that, next week, October 9th to the 13th, $1,903. Consistently growing my account. My account's getting bigger now. I have now up towards around this $9,000 mark. I could buy stocks now from $9 per share or below on a $2 per share stock or a $3 per share stock. I can start buying 2,000 to 3,000 shares, 4,000 shares. So at this point, if I'm buying 4,000 shares, every penny that moves, I make $40. I get a nice 10-cent, 20-cent rip, 25-cent rip. I'm able to make some nice cash on quicker rips, on more shares, on all diverse different plays. And that's a great thing. Next week after that, October 16th to the 20th, this is total gain realized, $1,860. So consistently growing my account. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hot right now. And on top of this, I've learned from my past mistakes. I'm looking for chart patterns that are 80% reward, 20% risk. I'm looking for stocks that I know I'm going to be confident in. Then moving on, I have my first little losing week again, $1,000. But what's the best thing about this? Obviously, $1,000 is not a smaller type of hit. It's not a smaller type of hit. But out of these last 3 weeks, let's go over them. $1,860, $1,903, $3,529. So what's the best thing about this loss, guys? It's smaller than every single win. Now, is it bigger than what I wanted? Absolutely. I don't want to have a $1,000 loss. But you know what? It is smaller than every single win. So it's not going to affect me too much. I have a $3,000 win. I have a $1,900 win. Let's just round that up to $2,000. And then my last win was $1,860. So we can almost round that up to $2,000 as well. So if we look back at this, having a just barely $1,000 loss, is that good? Absolutely not. But at the same time, it's smaller. I'm cutting my losses quickly every single time. So that's something positive I can take from this. Now on this trade, I want to figure out what's going on. What did I do wrong? Where's the lesson to be learned? I don't shrug it off. I face it. I say to myself, $1,000 loss, what did I do here? Hey, okay, I got in late. Okay, you know what? I didn't play the smart pattern. Hey, you know what? I was chasing. This is a lesson that I can learn from. Not just, hey, you know what? I don't want to get into this anymore. I'm done with this. This is not what I want. It's a lesson. And I want to make sure that I'm learning from it. Next week after that, let's get back on the horse. Let's learn. $1,165. 2 total trades. Again, I'm not trading. Just because my account's growing doesn't mean I'm trading 7 times a day. I'm still doing research one day, trade the next day. Research one day, trading the next day. Research one day, trading the next day. That's what I want to be watching. That's what I want to be focusing on. Next week, have a little bit of a loss again, $1,000. With that being said, it's still smaller than my last win. So this was, again, a little bit of a small loss that kind of took me back a little bit. It took me back a little bit, and I do have to collect myself and say to myself, hey, what's going on? But you guys could see, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to win every single trade. I'm not going to win nonstop on every single play that we see. But I'm going to win as much as I possibly can by staying disciplined, by having that mental mindset that says, I'm going to learn from my losses. Losses are going to happen. And you know what? I want to make sure that you guys understand that losses will happen, but how do we grow from that? We learn from that, and we cut them quick. If you are going to trade, if you're going to be a stock trader, you can't be shaken by a loss. You can't say, oh, I lost, now I'm too scared to trade. Get back on the horse. Wall Street doesn't care about your feelings. When you trade, be stone cold, baby. You got this. Learn, study up, and you can do it. And as you guys can see, next week, $8,572. In 1 week of trading, $8,572. I'm not letting a loss affect me. I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to get back on the horse, and I'm going to make $8,572. This was my last week of trading, November 13th to the 17th, and that is what pushed me over $20,000. So throughout my whole entire trading, I made $16,188 in about a 2.5-month span. That's from a $4,000 account. Imagine trading $25,000. You guys are going to be able to make very good money up in the 6 figures and above. So let's break this down. Let's talk about some of the statistics. Let's talk about some of my biggest gains, some of my biggest losses. My biggest gain right here was $6,957. This gain was on CBIO. Now, this is what I talk about when I talk about high reward, low risk chart patterns. As you could see, CBIO, where did I play this stock? I played the stock on this massive day right here, where this stock went from $5 all the way up towards around $9.25. It went on about a $5 rip, almost a $5 rip. And why is this an 80% reward, 20% risk pattern? There's so much reward here because there's no sort of indicators. There's no sort of chart resistance that's going to be holding the stock down. If I buy right here at around $5, if I buy at $5.25, or if I buy right around the $5.30 mark, I know I have the world to go up, and I have so much support underneath this. I have support at $5 natural support. I have support at $4.99. I have support at $4.84. This is the 200-day moving average. This is the 50-day moving average. So if I bought this stock and if it fell, it's not going any lower than $5. It's going to stay at $5 natural support. It's going to stay at $4.99 200-day moving average, and that has $4.84 last case scenario all the way at the 50-day moving average. This stock has so much potential to continue to move up, and this stock has so little to move on down. It was a play that I wanted to get into. It's a low float stock, and it led to a huge profit for me. Now let's talk about my biggest loss. My biggest loss was $1,678. Now this definitely made me take a step back. This definitely was a loss where I did not cut my losses as quick as possible. Now, as we saw, my biggest weekly loss wasn't even this big. So what does that mean? That means within that week, I had this trade, 1,678, and then my other trade during that week was a win. So it kind of brought my loss down a little bit. But what was going on with this loss? First off, this was one of my bigger mistakes throughout my small account challenge. My small account challenge, I didn't cut losses on this play quick enough. And this was on HTGM. HTGM came out with good earnings. It was a stock that came out with good earnings. It was a 300% increase. But in earnings season, we just have not been seeing a lot of big time rips in this earnings season. I was sticking with the press release. I was coming out with my trading plan. My trading plan was, hey, look for a $3 entry. If we get a break of $3, we could definitely see the stock, move on up. But at the same time, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong on this play? Is that we have a lot of room to move up. But what was the difference between HTGM and CBIO? This stock is not an 80% reward, 20% risk. This stock obviously has a lot of room to move up, but where is this stock going to get bounced up at? If we look at CBIO, there's a lot of support right here that's going to hold this stock up no matter what, why the stock can climb. If I look back here towards HTGM, this stock has room to fall all the way down to 50-day moving average. So instead of playing an 80-20, it was more like I was playing a 50-50. And that goes against my strategy. And so I got in right around this $3 mark, and that's when the stock started falling. Instead of cutting my losses quickly, I was hoping we get a bounce at 280 because of old resistance, which would hold up as new support to try to get this thing coming back on up. I continue to hold, and on top of that, I took a loss. Now with that loss, I have to be able to say to myself, I'm not going to let that affect my trading. Do I want it to sting a little bit? Yes, I do. Because I don't want to feel that feeling again. I don't want to feel that feeling again of me taking a loss. Remember that feeling. It's not good to dwell on a loss, but taking a loss, it's not fun. So you want to say, okay, you know what? This at the moment is not fun. This at the moment, I just lost a good amount of money. How can I make sure I don't have this feeling again? And that's from learn from it. And that's exactly what I did. And that's why on top of that, the next week after this, I came back and I made $8,000. And that's how I had a $7,000 trade on CBIO to be able to grow my account and break over $20,000. So my final statistics, I had a starting account at $4,000. My total trades that 2.5 months was 23 trades. Total winning trades was 15. Total losing trades was 8. My average win rate in the small account challenge was 65%. Now in 2017 on my normal trading, it's 81% at the moment, but my average trading in this small account challenge was 65%. I could definitely get that up if I do this again, but it's good to see that I'm winning over half my trades. And the trades that I'm losing on, I'm cutting them quickly. My ending account, $20,192, and that was in a 2.5 month span. So let's talk about my gains and losses. As you could see, again, I won how many? 15, and I lost 8. Now with these gains, as we start off, they're going to be smaller gains, and then we consistently start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So LINU, $94, CBIO, 170, IDXG, quick little trade here, $10.57, SHIP, $400, CYCC, now we're starting to get bigger, 1,000, CLSN, 4,000, another CLSN trade, 1,805, CASI, $97, ETRM, 900, RSLS, about 500, SECO, 600, 1,000, 1,600. Here's that $7,000 gain. Then we have a 127, 981. So 15 trades are very big. Notice how many of these are over, let's say, $500. Over $500, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So out of my 15 trades, 10 of them are over $500. Now, out of these short list of losses, what do we have? Staff, $247. ETRM, $187. RTMB, $21. CLSN, $402. MBOT, $290. DRYS, $498. The only two that really hurt me, was my HTGM loss, which was $1,678, and then APOP, which is $1,174. I could have limited them more. HTGM got a little slacky of that. I didn't cut my losses. APOP, that was my fault, but on top of that, we also did have a little bit of a problem with my broker, but that's nothing to ever complain about. You are your own trader. You decide your broker. You decide what you go with. I'm not going to, talk about that at all because of the plain fact, that is a loss. That is on me. So APOP, $1,174 loss. HTGM, $1,678 loss. Now, I could have limited those for sure, but notice how many gains there are compared to losses, and notice how many more $500 wins there are than losses. SDAF, $247, keeping it small. ETRM, $187 loss, keeping it small. RTMB, $21 loss. Things aren't going my way, I'm getting out. The only thing I could have improved on with my losses are these two losses right here. I could have improved on APOP and I could have improved on HTGM. These are where I could have gotten out a little easier, made it a little bit easier for myself on my challenge to grow this in a quicker manner. My average gain was $1,382. My average loss was $562. Now, with this being said, my average gain is double of my average loss, which is great. My average gain is double of my average loss. So that means if I didn't have a 65% win rate, I could technically lose 2 trades, then make 1 winning trade, and I'll be back to even. So I could still lose 2 trades, make 1 winning trade, and get back to even. But obviously, I don't want that. I want to have a winning rate, and that's by going through strategic research and going through 80% reward, 20% risk. So I'm happy to see my average gains at $1,382. My average loss to me, as a trader, as Sean Dekmar, that's a little too big for me. $562. That's why I'm happy I did a small account challenge, because even I'm learning. It's great to go back to a small account, even when you're a consistent trader and doing this full time. I've been trading now for the last 4 years full time. And seeing, okay, going back to a small account challenge and kind of starting from scratch, how could I do this? How can I grow my account? What's going to be my average gain? $1,382 on a small account? I'll take that. And my average loss, $562, with a little bit more work, with maybe a little bit more discipline, with a little bit more adjusting, I could get that down to $1,200. The only problem I had were these 2 trades. If I cut my losses quicker on APOP to $500, if I cut my losses quicker on HTGM to maybe to $900, my average loss would be at around maybe $250. So I had 2 mistakes, which brought my average loss up. I only had a couple losses, which is why it's even up that high. So, again, when you have a couple losses and, 2 of them are up a little bit higher, it's going to bring the average up. But if I just cut those 2 losses down, which is easily fixable, and my average gain, I can continue to grow that at around $2,000. So next time I do my small account challenge, next time I go down towards $2,000 and continue to move up towards $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, I'm going to look to make my average gain maybe around $1,500, $1,600 a trade, and my average loss maybe around $200 a trade. But an average gain double of your average loss, that's great. To see double, I'm making double of my average loss, that's a great thing to see. So my key points. 1, stick to your trading plan. Sticking to your trading plan is so important, guys. I have an entry, I have a sell target, I have a stop loss. I don't have fear, I don't have emotions. I'm playing the chart for a reason that I research, that it has a press release, that it has a chart pattern, that it has an 80% reward, 20% risk. I'm staying with the plan that I developed. I'm not getting influenced by what's going on, by greed, by fear. I'm not getting influenced. I'm sticking to my trading plan. I'm not hesitating. If you hesitate in the stock market, you will lose. Hesitating, guys, means you're only going to be in late. The stock market moves too fast. The stock market moves too quick. If you guys are late, you guys are going to be late to the party, which is going to end up into a loss. Do not hesitate. Be confident in yourself. Every single person that's listening to this right now, you guys obviously want to become better traders. You guys are going to work hard to become better traders. You guys are passionate about changing your financial life. So you guys will not hesitate when you guys research. You guys will not hesitate when you guys develop your trading plan. And when it all comes together, don't hesitate, get in. You guys are good. You guys are confident. You guys can do this. Cut losses quick. If I didn't cut my losses quick, I would have lost my whole entire account. But I cut them quick. And that's by sticking to my trading plan. You could see my average loss was less, way less than my average win. My average win was double of my loss. So every single win is double, than what I would even lose if the stock started coming back on down. Lock in profits when you have them. One of the toughest things for traders to do is to not be able to lock in their profits. They see a stock rip, they see a stock run, they see a stock take on off, and they say to themselves, yes, I'm up $1,000, this is awesome. And then what happens? They start saying to themselves psychologically, hey, maybe this will run up to like $20. Maybe I'll be up $20,000 today. That would be awesome. And then next thing what happens, it starts coming on down. And they're like, okay, maybe it'll bounce back up. And it keeps falling down and keeps falling down and keeps falling down. And then you end up losing, or you end up only locking in like $50. People, I can't tell you how many times people come up to me, guys. They say, Dek, right now I'm up $1,200, biggest gain ever. I say, awesome job, lock something in right now. It doesn't have to be everything. Maybe just lock in half and let the rest go out. And if it starts falling, then you want to lock it all in. And at the end of the day, they say, Dek, I wasn't being smart. I ended up losing $200. So being up $1,200 and end up losing $200, that's on you. You have to be able to discipline yourself and say, I'm up $1,200 in the first 5 minutes of the market. My friends, my parents, whoever you guys want to think of, they're not making that type of money. My friends are graduated college. They're not making $1,200, $1,300, $8,000 in a week, $7,000 in one trade. I made $7,000 within 30 minutes of the market on that trade, guys. In the stock trading mentality, we say to ourselves, oh, we're up about $300, $400 right now in a trade. Maybe I want a little bit more. It doesn't seem as much because it's a little number on your broker. But you have to say to yourself, you know what? If I'm trying to do this full time, I lock in $400 a day. Lock in that $400. That's a great little trade right there. That's going to grow your account. Even the small wins, guys, they're going to rack up. You make $500 every single day, 5 days a week, you're making good money. And that's going to add up week after week, month after month, and you're going to be able to do this consistently full time. But without ever locking in your money, you don't have any money. No one ever wants to hear, oh, I was up $20,000. Oh, great. Let's go have some fun. Let's go do something. Enjoy your $20,000. They say, oh, well, then I actually came up and I ended up losing. You have to lock those in. You have to lock them in. Last thing, guys, is understand the market conditions. The market conditions, guys, like the weather. Some days it's going to be sunny. Some days it's going to be rainy. If it's sunny, I'm going to go outside in a t-shirt, shorts. I'm going to chuck the football around and have some fun. If it's rainy, if I have to go outside, I'm going to be going in a raincoat. I'm going to have an umbrella, and I'm going to be, trying to get inside as quickly as I can. But if you don't understand the current market conditions, it could potentially be raining in the market. And if you walk outside in a t-shirt and shorts, you're just going to get soaking wet and you're just going to look like a weird person. So you have to be able to understand, what strategy am I going off of right now? Right now, it's a low float market. So that means we are going to be seeing a lot of big time spikes. But with that being said, we're also going to be seeing a lot of big time dumps. So I need to make sure that I understand I'm getting in on this, I'm getting out of it. I'm getting in and I'm locking my profit because it could dump on me. If it's a slower market, okay, I can load up on shares, maybe ride out, do some trend line trading. Okay, if we're seeing a lot of stocks fall, I want to look towards more shorting. Find the strategy that is working in the stock market. That is the ones that's going to help you out the most.